Hey, how you doing there? Yeah, it's your favorite beautiful hunk of a man, Alex Woody here, host of Midnight in the Bay podcast. I know what you're thinking. What is on this guy's head? My wife makes me wear this when she's on her period. I can take it off when she's done. Funny thing is I was starting this podcast and I couldn't start it. You know why? I kept getting knocks at the door. I've never gotten so many knocks at my apartment. Like when you live in an apartment, the only time you get a knock is if they're putting an envelope on your door. Hey, you haven't paid rent this month, but yeesh, it's been a couple of weeks. That's the only time when the landlord's, hey, I smell marijuana. That's the only time the landlord, hey, you got an ex-girlfriend here. She says you stole her mom's wedding ring. That's the only time. And I get a knock here. Been here 5 years, never gotten a knock, and it's this Asian couple, and they're like, "We're looking for so and so." I wasn't listening, but when I answered the door, it was like, "Hello." They probably thought, "Oh my God, this guy is doing blow. He's yanking on the tool stick. He's singing the Grateful Dead to his dead mother. This guy's crazy." They immediately left. They're like, "Sorry to bother you. I'm in my underwear. And it's not even underwear. It's shorts I used to wear in high school. That's how small they are on me. Gaining weight." So they ran off. They probably looked at me like, "Oh my God, this guy is building a gun right now. He's planning on taking out some people." I'm like, hey, I'm not one of those. Okay. We get a bad rap. If I had a longer beard, I'd be more scared. But see, I got that trim beard. If you're a white bald guy right now, put the trim the beard. Okay. It's gonna help not have people scared of you. Okay. I had the beard long like a month ago, and people were yelling, "Help, help, he's gonna get us." And I was like, "I'm just here for a Subway sandwich." I need a glass of water. Getting really hot. But anyways, I come sit down and do the podcast. I get another knock on the door. I'm like, you know, this must be my lucky day, right? Not really. Have you ever tried to do something and just stuff kept getting in the way? Mom calling you, wife calling you, addictions, drugs, porn, salami, you know. That's one of these days I'm having. I get another knock. It's the old lady across the way, okay? And we've been dumping her cat poop that has been in front of the door. Okay. She's not even that old. She's like 65 and she exercises. I'm like, you can dump it yourself, but hey, whatever. She gives me flowers. She's like, hey, I wanted to thank your wife. I really appreciate you dumping the cat shit. I wish she said shit. I would have loved her after that. She said cat ding dong. I'm like, that's poop. That must be a 1970s term. And I'm thinking in my head, you know what? When I got the flowers, this is what I'm thinking in my head. Wife hasn't been dumping your cat shit. I have. Where's my Subway gift card? Where's my Chipotle certificate? I almost burped there. That was like you're like, oh my God, is this guy having a stroke? Or has Tourette's? No, it's I sometimes feel like I'm gonna burp and then I don't, because when you eat a lot of, okay, food, it comes, okay, you don't need the science. You're like, I tuned in for the laughs and to look at your bald cute head. Okay, okay, grandma. This lady though, flowers. What the hell am I gonna do with flowers? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna tell my wife I bought them for her. Hey, I got to earn the points. Let me tell you, it's tough to get anything sexual when they're on the period. Okay. And I get it. The wife's tried on me when I'm tired. It's kind of the same thing. Actually, I had the wife try to do some moves on me when I had poo cramps. And that's probably the most relatable thing. You ever have poo cramps where you're going to the bathroom, you're screaming in the towel, the pain's so bad. You're like, Jesus Christ, is there a demon in me? Ah! And then you lay on the bench, she hops on you. I'm like, Jesus, I thought you wanted more kids. I think you just exploded one. And she's like, you're in the mood. I'm like, if you went in there and smelled what just came out of me, you would pass out. you would not be in the mood. And that's what I had her do. I was like, hey, go in the bathroom. I think I forgot something. Let me tell you, that diffused the bomb. You ever want to diffuse a bomb? Just throw it in the stinky bathroom. That will make the clock all stop and shit. That will also diffuse a woman who's horny and when you are not. But let me tell you, now it's karma. Now the roles are flipped, and I'm like, if they don't get anything out of it, you're lucky to get something. And if they're just gonna tug on it, it's like I could do that. And I'm good. I've been doing it for 32 years. Uh 33 next this month. Yee. And my wife, I don't know how long she's been doing it. Hopefully not that long. I don't want to hear any any trauma. That ever happen to you when you're hanging out with a significant other and they're like, you're drinking wine, you're having a good time, you're laying on the blanket, you're looking at the stars, and they go, I was molested one time. I'm like, Jesus Christ, where did that come from? I'm having like a good time. I'm high. I'm thinking about Batman, how I always wanted to be Robin. Is he real? And then this question, I was raped by this. I'm like, oh, God. But I've done it too. What makes us do that? I don't know. It's very uncomfortable though. What about this one? Have you ever had this one? Um, you're having a great night with the boys, the girls, whatever you play with, and you're a little late. You come home and they're crying, and you look on the TV and it's one of those Hallmark movies. It's one of those Lifetime movies, and you're like, oh my God. And they're like, we need to save the rainforest. I pledge allegiance to those leaves. I'm like, oh, I got it. Why are you always watching movies in the other room? Let me tell you, I want to laugh. I've done enough crying during the day when I'm working at a job I fucking can't stand. You know, I like to not cry. What about you guys? I'm telling you, and maybe I shouldn't generalize women, but I know a lot of them that love to cry. I don't know any guys that uh, sound like this. Oh man, I don't know about you boys this weekend, but I watched a tear jerker. Let me tell you, I was really crying. I was thinking about my life and my parents and how they're getting old, and I really miss my grandma. And you're not gonna hear a guy at the warehouse at my job going like that. You know what I mean? You gotta hear, oh, you guys see this action movie, shut his fucking head off, pussy juice. How many tits were in the movie? 20, I counted, Bobby. I mean, we're still doing that as adults. It's sad, okay? But it's fun. Okay. I don't want to watch a movie that goes, you know what? I My life does suck. What the fuck? Some of those documentaries make you think that phone one, the social dilemma. You're like looking at the phone, like fuck, damn it, I can't look at this anymore. I feel horrible. You watch those serial killer documentaries, and you're like, oh my God, these guys out there. I was on a trail by myself. I'm a chubby fat guy. No one wants to fuck me or kill me or skin me. And I'm paranoid out there. I'm like, oh my God, is the Midnight Stalker gonna rail a pole at my ass? I'm like, this is how women feel all the time. Jesus Christ. Then I got me thinking when I was walking around, I'm like, if women are scared, that makes men very powerful, which is a scary feeling. You know what I mean? I'm like, I felt like a superhero. I'm like, with this power, I should use for greatness, which the sad part is I have no power against men. You know what I mean? I need to learn how to fight. If I got to stand up for a woman, she's going to die. I can't do shit. You know what I mean? I think about that with my kids. I could barely bend over. If a car falls on my son, he's dead. Sorry, I can't lift shit. So, we got to work out. But I guess we do. I guess we are stronger than women. You know what I mean? Majority of us, right? I'm not talking about the exceptions of the weightlifters or the roller derby chicks. Have you seen those chicks? I don't want to be an ally with one of those. Tattoos. I hate men. Those are one of those chicks that hate that woman has the man in it. You know what I mean? They're like, I wish man was in the word woman. That's disgusting. That's sick. That's piggish. They just say woo. Whoa. Hey Becky, how's it going? Oh, hi. Just loving being a big, beautiful woman. Hey, we don't say women around here. We say woo. It's true. And I know I've probably triggered some people as soon as they they clicked on this link that I probably posted on the page. I always post this link on like podcast recommendations. I'm looking for good educational podcasts for me and my family. And I'm like, hey, take a look. Here's a link. I'm talking about licking my wife's bloody pussy, all this stuff. They're like, I want to be in the car when someone clicks on like, oh, this nice fella named Alex has a link. And it's just like, I jerked off so much, I hate myself. And they're like, oh my God. And kids are in the background, Dad, we jerk off. Uh, if I can only be in the car and just see the panic. I just like the pranks, and it's harder to get away with them as an adult because people want you to act like an adult. But let me tell you, I know there's some women triggered by my look. Oh my God, a bald white guy with a beard. What's he know? Oh, we got to hear from him. You know what I mean? And I've made the mistake too. This is why I've gotten some thumbs down on these videos. I've made a mistake of sending this link on Twitter. It'll say podcast recommendations. It'll say looking for a LGBTQZ trans only black woman host, and I'll put mine like, hey, I'm not either of those, but I'm fun too. Let's try me out. You know what I mean? We're not all bad. Like I want to convert some people to like bald white guys. I feel like we have a stigma, and I'm like, let's break that and have a good time. I could be as fun as a LGBTQ trans black female host. I can do that. Hey, I can dance. Hey, I can boogie. Um, here's just my message though. If you are triggered and you're like, I'm clicking this off, don't give me a chance. My grandma did. She's a soul. She listens all the time. She's like, you're so fucked up. You remind me of your uncle. I'm like, oh my God, you mean the dead one? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, oh great. I can see my future. Have you seen that ship is stuck in a canal somewhere in Egypt or whatever, the desert? It's blocking all these other ships. I'm like, have you tried wiggling the ship? Hey, fuck, we've all been there, right? On the toilet, and you gotta wiggle it out, and then it corrects itself and pushes out. I mean, I just see these people and they're like looking at the ship. They're like, move it. You know what I mean? It's been like a week and the ship's been blocking. I'm like, they really haven't figured this out. And the last statement I saw in the news, it said, they've done an investigation and have figured out that this was a man-made maneuver mistake. I'm like, first of all, that sentence doesn't make sense. And second off, no shit, someone fucked up. Someone was drunk and they're listening to music at and they're like, and they crash into some. I almost crashed into an old lady the other day. It would have been a hate crime if I didn't correct myself. You know what I mean? Isn't that the scary thing? You can be accidentally maybe, oh shit, enough weed. And you just bump into someone and you stop. You're like, oh my God, fuck, I know I shouldn't be smoking and driving. And then people with the cameras, they're there like, this guy, he's horrible. Look at him. You're done forever. You know what I mean? That's always going to be on the news. Your kid is finally get restriction off as they get older, and they're gonna be like, oh my God, I saw that report, Dad, in 75. You were crazy. Like, no, I wasn't. They just cut me off guard. You gotta be careful. Just I guess while you're doing, just this is how I do it. Oh, I never look down or anything. And you gotta have that phone on the stand here. I'm just because as long as that phone's on the stand on the car, cop can't do anything. You know what I mean? Were you looking at your phone? Yeah, but it was in the. Oh, okay. So yeah. Bye. Get out of here. If I learned anything from Destiny's Child, shaking it works and sells lots of records. I love when you call someone you haven't talked to for a while, and they're your fun friend, right? You're like, oh yeah, this could be fun conversation. Let's get the pipe. Let's back the pipe. Let's back the pipe. Oh, I love the Mary Jane. Get a beer. Oh, I feel loose. I love talking to friends loose, right? I'm booging and ooging it. And I call a buddy. And I hate when fun friends turn into responsible friends. You're like, oh no, we got another one that's left the fun side and has gone to the adult side. You're growing up. Gosh, damn it. I hate when friends grow up. I'm like, no, I love you, Jack. You know what I mean? I call him and I'm just feeling great. When you're in that, when you've had a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and you're like balanced. It's like yin and yang, baby. It's like that black and white cookie. I'm bugging. I'm like, where's the surfboard? And I'm telling them, oh, this is what I did. And they're like, yeah, I stopped doing that. I got the plans with the old bag, and it's time to be responsible. It's time to grow up. Got to check out your health. You're in your 30s. Okay, I'm still going at it. I'm still going for it. This guy's talking like he's in his 60s. You know what I mean? Come on, guy, we still got time. That's my head the whole time. I'm not saying a word though. You can't do that on friends. They're not going to call you back. Yeah, I'm not going to call that guy again. He blew up on me and told me the truth. No one wants to hear the truth. But this guy laying down the truth that I didn't want to hear. I'll hear the truth when I'm sober, but not when I'm lit. Isn't that the worst when you're lit? And that's when you come home and they're watching the Lifetime movie. That's when you can't deal with it. Oh my God. I know one day I'm gonna come home and like, hey, your dog died. That's like you don't want to hear bad news when you're high. It's like amplified. And anyways, I'm a rambling man. The friend, he's telling me all this. Gotta be responsible. We're getting older. I heard about this guy and this guy. He dead. And ba-do. I worry about you. Yep, yep, yep. And in my head, oh yeah, see ya. Not calling that guy for a long time. Because you know what? To be honest, I want to have a good time. I want to have fun. You're only 32 once, okay? And the times we live in, I'm realizing you can catch a virus. I didn't even know about viruses till this past year. That's how much I paid attention in school. Like, what? You could die? And I was like, that got the thing going in my head, like, you know what? It's time to just let's have fun and just relax and enjoy life. Not, I gotta tighten up on this and I gotta be responsible with that. Ugh, too much. You know what I mean? It gives me a headache thinking that much. I'm like, just have a little sip, a little puff, and just see the sunrise. I I'm obsessed with crunchy food. What about you? Anything crunchy, I'll eat. I realize that. Chips, cereal, croutons, corn nuts. I'm assuming there's a million other things. I don't know what it is. It's like it doesn't even. It could be horrible. I'm like, hey, but it's crunchy. You know what I mean? Like when I eat a sandwich, if I put the chips in the sandwich, it's even better. I'm like the crunch makes the sandwich. Like if I open up a sandwich shop, it'd be the crunch. Who cares? Um, do you ever do this? You ever did you live with someone and you know that something pisses them off, but you don't care and you just let it go? Like, okay, they're gonna yell at me at 8 o'clock tonight about this. I'm gonna go relax. You ever do that? I used to do that. I guess I've grown up a little bit, or she's trained me enough like a dog, because now I'll I'll leave like my shoes or something she hates, and I'll see it, and then like 10 seconds later when I'm walking away, I'll be like, you know what? I don't want to deal with that later. I want to relax. The worst thing that can happen is when you're high and someone ruins it, right? We just talked about that. So I put the shoes back and I'm like, huh, I guess I'm growing, and not just downstairs. I've been growing downstairs ever since puberty, but not so much, not so much as an adult in other ways. I Didn't know I was going to be doing a solo podcast. I did want to give a shout out to everyone that came out to my show in Sacramento. I headlined a bar that was really crummy on the outside. I mean, I pulled up, I'm like, what am I doing with my life? But then you go inside and it was great. They had a little stage area to the right. They got the bar with the pool tables. And the stage area, you don't even need that many people. It was like 15 people. I was like, this is perfect. I mean, in a small room, 15 people could sound great on a recording. It bounces off the walls. Indoor show. Haven't done an indoor show for over a year. Well, that's not true. I did a couple shows in the valley, but that's like another stay. Um, hadn't done one for a while. And let me tell you, I was the only one wearing a mask. Me and my opener. Uh, he was wearing a mask. I was wearing a mask, and people were looking at us like we were gay. And not because Dave had his hand down my pants, but the fact that we were the only ones wearing masks. Everyone up there's mask. What the hell? You know what I mean? I did my show. Anyone vaccinated? And someone threw a needle at me. Fuck your vaccination. I swear to God, people like hate all that up there. It's very like freedom. It's probably the closest thing to the South, in California is that area. I mean, when I was up there, I was standing outside and I was getting eaten up by mosquitoes. I was like, where am I? The fucking bayou. But fun crowd, rowdy a little bit. But by the time I went up, they were kind of half asleep. So I woke them up, and that's perfect. When you go last, they're a little tired, they're done interrupting everyone else's set, and then you go up. I still had one lady who interrupted me, but I got her with a joke. I asked, anyone ever do meth? And she just goes, just the weed. And I did this whole meth joke, talked about it. And then she made a comment like, oh, I hate when that happens. I'm like, hey, I thought you only smoked weed. It killed. It was funny. I like little crowd work shit like that. I've been starting to do that more. You can do that more too with the longer sets. I did a bunch of shit I didn't even realize I was going to do. I was like, where did this come from? But, working out on here, I've definitely have done some stuff from this podcast on stage. I'm not saying it's fire. I'm talking like I'm good at shit. I just have fun up there. That's it. And some jokes land, some don't, and everyone goes home safe for the most part. I did fuck around with that black lady a little bit on the show just because she kept interrupting me, but you got to make it fun. I used to yell at people. You can go back to old shows. I've played clips. I'm like, fuck you, fuck your mom, fuck your grandma. I hope your skateboard gets broken. And now I'm just like, let's boogie. You want to, I'll make a joke out of it like I just did with the meth thing, And I'm leaving with the opener and we're sitting in the car and she left midway through my set with her guy. And we're in the car and I see her pull up with her guy and she's storming inside. And I'm like, let's get the hell out here. She's probably going in there to shoot me. But it seemed like she had a good time. She kept interrupting, So that was fun. I got another show. Let's see here. I got another show this Friday, April 2nd in San Francisco at Milk Bar, 8 p.m. And then a show April 15th at in Oakdale. DM me at Alex Score, at _ Alex Woody Comedy on the Instagram. Anyways, I got some shows popping up. If you're in the Northern California area, I will be traveling to Europe in Morocco next. Who are we kidding? Am I? No. I'm here in Northern California. Probably gonna do some LA shows though in the near future. So that should be fun, I super excited for the Oakland A's, the baseball, Major League Baseball, to be opening up its doors. Yeah, they're apparently not going to be able to sell food or drinks inside the stadium. So I'll be walking up with 330 packs going, yes, I'll be walking in here with these, and your bathrooms are still open, right? I'm gonna be ready to rock it. There's nothing like baseball and a cold light beer. You got to do a light beer, and it's just like I think it's just ingrained in men. just growing up with the dads going and eating the hot dog and trying to catch the ball. Got the body, dad. You know, I never got the ball. The ball never flew over to me. I always wanted to catch it. Yeah, whoosh, da. Never happened. Um, did get hit in the face with a bat one time, but that was because my dad was angry and couldn't find the remote. So jokes. But super excited that things are opening up. Let me tell you, some vaccinated people have been acting real snobby. I don't know if you guys have told. Oh, I already got a couple invites. If you're not vaccinated, if you're not vaccinated, you can't come to my party. Yeah, I'm getting invited to only vaccinated parties, which makes no sense. Okay, you guys are all vaccinated. I'm not. Who's gonna get hurt? Bye. Oh, wait, no, because it makes sense now. Let me in. Let me try the little hot dogs on the stick. Think they're called pigs in a blanket. That's what I'm about to be later when we're doing the campfire blues. Vaccinated homely parties. Unbelievable. I'm not scared. I got a buddy who hit me up. He's like, I got vaccination cards if you need one. I'm like, Jesus, guy, save me 3. I and now my parents are all vaccinated, right? All these older people, everyone, all the older people are vaccinated and they're partying. Okay. Every time I call my mom, she's like, she was so scared to go out. And now she's acting like it's the 70s. Celebration. I'm gonna have a drink and get really hammered. I played golf the other day, which was a tragedy itself. I thought I was watching a Hallmark sad movie with my golf swing out there. I was like, geez, what am I, a woman golfer? Sexism. I'm walking up to this golf course, and these guys, they're playing the guitar, these older guys, and they're doing covers, and all these old people are dancing out there. No masks, they're having a good time. They're all vaccinated. And I saw this one old guy, he's playing the air guitar, da, 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 and I wanted to go up to him and punch him in the face, slap him in the face. You know why? Because he didn't invite me. He saw me gigging over there, and he's like, make that solo into a twofer, you know. But I wanted to punch him because he looked like a goofball. Let's be honest, lesbian, honest. Um, Old people are having a blast. I can't even get a hold of my dad, so I mean, good for them. They're the new young people. Don't mention the word death in front of them, though, because that's like saying the N word in front of a black person. What you say? Come on, you gonna bring this up? We're having a good time. All right, guy. All right, guy. I I played the golf, and let me tell you, love the golf now. You know why? Because you don't need to use that little rake in the sand pit because of COVID. They don't want you to touch anything. So you just go in the sand pit. You don't have to worry about wiping your footprints or anything. I'm in the sand pit. I'm jumping around like a cat that just took a nasty shit that feels better. I'm do. And I'm playing this one dad, and we got money on the game, and it's competitive. He's like, heard you played growing up. Yeah, I did. Heard you play now. I never practiced. Let's go. I'll play you, put the money on the table, bitch. This guy puts money in his foreskin. I'm like, Jesus, guy, I already got some, put that back on. He had to go to the hospital before we played, got it reattached. We went, and let me tell you, I won the first 2 holes, and then we tied the 3rd hole, and I'm feeling good about myself. I'm like, I'm gonna have the game of my life. I'm gonna text my parents, hey, I'm back boogieing on the golf course, right? Mm, 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 mm. Damn, I love that shit. And this guy whips out a bowl, a marijuana pipe, and he loads it. And he goes, you know, hit this, you adult of a man. And I said, yes, sir. And I hit that ball, and he passes it here and he passes it. And people are like, hey, can you finish playing? What is that weird? Hey, And I have a beer. He's like, you got a beer? Here you go. And I'm playing. I start playing bad. I hit the ball in the freeway. I was facing the wrong direction at one point. Okay. This guy hustled me. This guy got me drunk and high and beat me. He started whipping my butt. I think this guy wasn't even taking hits off the pipe. I wasn't even paying attention. I was looking up in the sky and like, you ever think about aliens and stuff? This guy was probably wiping the ball off, you know? Uh, the drink he was having, probably a fake beer, you know? This guy hustled me for my money, and I should have known because this guy plays pool. Uh-oh. He like plays people for money at pool places. He met his wife at a pool hall. And like this is an indicator never to play poker or anything with this guy, right? So now I got to play this guy sober. So we'll talk about that in the next podcast. It'll probably be like, hey, I got to play this guy drunk and high again because I had a better chance. You do get a little looser on that, but and I do like that golf encourages drinking, right? It's like one of the few sports that does that. That and bowling. You ever go to a bowling hall? They're like people's limbs are falling off, their faces older than they actually are. They've been smoking for a long time. I love those people. They got wrist guards on, they got those shoes that slide. Can you buy those shoes anywhere else? Where do you buy those bowling shoes? I want to wear those in public. You just slide, you can moonwalk anytime you wanted to. I got too much grip on my shoes to moonwalk. Which, by the way, that's a stereotype too. You look at a fat bald white guy and you're like, he's not athletic, he can't do anything, he can't dance anything. Yes, we can. There's muscle under fat, bro. I'm like the Rock under here. That's the scary part. I told my wife this too. If I lost weight, women would be all over me, and men, and probably animals. Animals love in shape people. You ever see an animal by a guy that just got out of the gym? They're licking them, they're humping them. I mean, it's everyone loves a more in shape person, and that's the scary part about losing weight. You're like, I don't want to be too good looking. I remember I used to smoke cigarettes back in the day, and then I got off the cigarettes and did chewing tobacco, which is gross. You know what I mean? You have to spit in bottles. I used to have some bottles in my car. One time I was drunk. I thought it was a Gatorade, and I went to go drink it. And it was chewing tobacco. I spit in the car. I swerved, almost hit a nun. It was bad. I finished it though. I was like, this is actually kind of good though too. Got me fucked up. But what got me off the chewing tobacco is I saw a video of this guy. His face was like caved in from like mouth cancer from chewing too much. And I'm like, you know what? I can't be fat and disfigured. That's a double. You might as well just go the edge of a bridge at that point. Getting dark. We're getting dark. It's dark. It's Midnight in the Bay. This should be a dark podcast. Did I mention this podcast it does actually have a sponsor? You're typing in the phone number of LA Times right now. This guy needs to be canceled. He's horrible. He's gross. And you're stopping right now, but dialing that number, and you're going, you know what? This guy actually has a sponsor. Yes, I have a sponsor. It's called Silvertone Audio, and they're basically, believe it or not, they put my podcast up on there, all the episodes, and you can download them. My grandma has downloaded all of them, and she loves my self-deprecating humor. And you can get you just go right there, silvertoneaudio.org. Yeah, .org, way cooler. And you can download all the Midnight in the Bay podcasts right there. 175. Well, minus 30 because I used to play real music in front of the like Ozzy and Beatles and stuff, and they took those down real quick. They're like, you can't play other people's music without license, you goofball. And my podcast isn't the only one on there though that's free to download. There's some other interesting ones. Dazed and Disturbed, that's another podcast on there. Really fun. It's a podcast where this guy shines light on darker subjects with the help of Mary Jane. Hey, Mary Jane could be a great host. So go check that out. A bunch of free downloads of that podcast. And then NPC podcast, the non-player character podcast. Oh, right there. It's right there, free downloads. And this one you're going to love. I mean, you're going to probably stop listening to mine after you listen to this one. It's a video game podcast. What? We all love video games. and it's a video game podcast run by people in the industry. They talk about it, they laugh about it, and they answer questions from you guys. So go check it out. NPC Podcast, Non-Player Character Podcast, Dazed and Disturbed Podcast, and of course, Midnight in the Bay Podcast at silvertoneaudio.org. What, speaking of music, do you remember there's an article, you can look it up, send it to grandma, this article. The Beatles, apparently they used to get a little physical with each other, not touching one another, but touching themselves in the same room as one another while they made music. And listen, I've done that with a buddy before when I was younger, not to make music, just to make an awkward situation. But let me tell you, weird when I heard the Beatles did this, but then it kind of made sense because they had that one song, Come Together Right Now Over Me. I'm throwing up. That's disgusting. Now I know the words. I'm like, I can't sing that in front of my mom anymore. But it makes sense. You know what I mean? It makes sense that the lyrics now make sense. Isn't that funny about songs? They do that, Um, songs and thinking back, I was thinking about senior year of high school. I used to love the music. Oh, I had hair back then. People were like, "You're awesome. You're amazing." Not really. They're like, "You stink. You smell. You suck." But I'm like, "What am I, a hooker?" But I remember when I was a senior in high school, I chose my college like how I chose a girlfriend, whichever one let me in. That's how I knew junior college and my wife were the ones for me because it was the only two that let me in without credentials. I I want to say that's the podcast. I had fun. I wanted to do something quick, and anyways, download the episodes, and you can check out when the next episodes are coming out at _AlexWoodyComedy on the old Instagram. That's it. Thank you guys.